Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and we're late again with the second half of my What Sold videos, which were for the weekend before this one that just finished, October 24th through 26th. Probably my best weekend of the entire year. I had some really high dollar sales, which will bring us up to a conversation we're going to have. But let me tell you, my ongoing saga of my health issues. I went to a acupuncturist this week at the VA. Very interesting. Very interesting. That's all I can say. So far, my hands have felt a little bit better.
After one treatment?
One treatment, I'm going to have one a week for 6 weeks. So that was interesting. I hate to admit this, but I started snoring. And I've never really snored in my life. So Robert was like, you need to get a sleep apnea test. And the VA was against it because I don't fit the criteria, for having sleep apnea. But I went ahead and finally did it. And I have sleep apnea. So then today we had to go back and get my machine. But I got to wait. They had to order a small mask for me. So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. Robert uses a sleep apnea machine, but he's been for years. I just don't know. Anybody else, how long did it take you to get used to it? Because just having something on my face and around my head, I'm a tossing and a turning kind of person. So it's interesting. It's just a weird week. Weird week of I just really, truly did not expect that. So let me go ahead and share with you some of the sales I had on eBay. I had none on Etsy. I've been good this week. I've been putting a bunch on Etsy, and I'm hoping that's going to have my sales pick up. But I ain't done it today yet. I got to do that because we had to leave early this morning to go to a class on how to use the CPAP machine. So nothing on Etsy, and Robert's flat rate shipping has failed. I consider it a fail, and so he needs to go ahead and get his shipping in his store converted back over to calculated shipping, and hopefully he'll start picking up sales there. But I think I had 3 for the whole weekend to share with you from that store.
I can't remember if we talked about it in the last video or not, but I switched it all over except for some larger like jackets and coats and shoes and purses and stuff.
Yeah.
And the sales have just not flatlined completely, but they're not every day like they had been. And I gave it's been over a week.
2 weeks almost, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while, and it's just not working out. Sales have gone down since I did that.
We've had 3 non-sale days where we had almost an entire month where we had sold something every single day, and a few days we sold 4 and 5 items.
Yeah, so it was good right before that. So it's going to have to go back and get switched back to flat rate shipping, and
calculated.
Yeah, calculated shipping. And I'm going to do some monkeying around in there. I'm going to flip it back and wait a week. I thought I did it the other day, but I think I forgot to hit the save button.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to flip it back and give it a week and see how sales change. And then I'm going to try to go in
and tinker
with the price up and down. So when Rebel goes in to start a sale, when the sale is ended, it's time to start a new one, and it's at its base price, I'm going to go in and drop the price by 15 cents. And then the next time she does it, I'm going to bump it up with a bulk edit by 20 cents. Just kind of keep it around the same price, but just kind of see if messing with the item, changing the item's price has any effect on sales. Because I've heard that it can, but we've never messed with that ourselves, really.
It's when you have 10,000 items, that's just not something I even want to bother with. So playing around with his store has been an educational eBay education 101. Just tinkering with it because it's not very big yet. All right, let me go ahead and show you some of the things that sold. We'll start out with the clothes. I still have clothes in my store. I'm slowly but surely moving them over to his store. I'm messing with the titles. I'm lowering the price if they've been listed for a while, just all of that stuff. And it's weird. Some of the stuff that I've moved over sells almost immediately, with just reducing the price for a couple of dollars. But I did sell these men's Wrangler jeans for $10. Douglas little black dog with a bandana. It was personalized or advertising. Beauchamp Seafood Restaurant. Don't know where that is. And it sold for $10. It took a long time to sell. Mayim Yellow Giraffe Organic Lovey. Nice sell. $35.95 for a lovey. Sears Fleece Pajamas. I'm going to start moving away from the pajamas, even if they're vintage, because they have taken forever to sell. This pair finally sold. They were made in Hong Kong. Really nice, cute little flowers on them. Sold for $15.
Beauchamp's is in Destin, Florida. At least one of them is. I don't know if there's any more or not, but there is one there.
Huh. And we probably picked it up in St. Louis, so. Vintage hair banana clips. These are definitely something to keep your eye out for. They had been listed probably 2 years, so they took a while to sell. But they are those little banana clips that you can put in your hair. I might have kept them if they were like black. I just don't really think putting brown in my hair would have worked. But they eventually did sell for $23 for just the 2 of them. I had lots of people sending me a message only wanting to buy one. I'm not really doing that very much anymore, splitting up stuff. It's too much work. I don't want to redo listings. But, I make exceptions once in a while, but not for a lower dollar item. Bendy and the Ink Machine. This is Boris the Wolf. Funny thing is I had just picked up another one of this plush in this series, and I was going to make a lot. And Boris sold $13.45. This was one of the first of the nice sales. This is Little Tikes. It is actually kind of like a ride-on toy for small children. It's a semi-truck. I want to say I paid $5 or $10 at a church yard sale, and it sold for $75 in about a month from being listed. Monster High. I had purchased a large lot of Monster High stuff a couple of years ago. Went through it, listed a bunch of the dolls. Not all of them. I still have some. But I had a huge bag of pieces and parts to play sets. So I took the time in September to go through all of that, put it together. Like this went to Claudine Wolf's bunk bed. And they've been selling. It's been kind of very quick, actually. And this set sold for $20. I think this was my best. No, not even my best sale. Not even. I picked this up at the same yard sale that I picked up all the Sasha dolls. It was, I don't know how it had been there because she had been letting people come into the estate sale. It was like a pre-sale to the estate sale. Anybody who wanted to show up while they were there working, you could shop. And we went 3 times, I think.
Yeah, they had been doing it for weeks and weeks.
It was a huge, huge sale. And this was just tucked in a Ziploc bag with some other loose Legos, which I think were actually decent also, that I had sold separately. But it was this Lego McDonald's set. It was sealed. I made sure to take a video showing all the sides were sealed. Because when you're dealing with these higher dollar things, you want to take all the protections that you can. And sold for $250. So very, very nice sale. I think I paid $5 for the bag of Lego stuff.
Before you go on, somebody mentioned in a comment that you stopped saying what you paid for stuff partway through the video. And there are 2 reasons for that. See the gray in her hair? She's forgetful.
I'm very
Which means
forgetful.
she just forgot to say it, or we don't necessarily remember. We try to, when we do these, to talk about what we paid for it. And if we don't remember what we paid for it, we say, well, we think it was a Ben's pickup, so $2 a pound, and we try to give you an idea of what we paid for it. So you have an idea of what it cost us to get that much out of it. And let me say this. How do I say this right, y'all? It doesn't really matter what we paid for it. For your research, for your knowledge, what we paid for it doesn't really matter. If we went and bought this for $225 somewhere, what's important to you is that we sold it for $250. That's what you can get out of it. But we would be kind of like phony baloney resellers if we were doing that. So we do this to make money, not to make videos, because the videos are very small, tiny compared to what we make on eBay and reselling in general. But what it sells for is the important thing. That way, you know, when you see it at a yard sale for 50 cents, you know you need to get this thing because it sells for $30 or $15 or whatever.
Right. And I'm frugal. I don't pay a whole lot of stuff. Very seldom. The Sasha dolls were probably my biggest exception ever. And I'm already in the profit on them, so it's just a matter of time now.
And I got the frowny face, was it last year? No, the year before last, I think. Yeah, it had to be the year before last, when I paid $60 for something we were going to sell for $120. Well, you listed it for more, but we were going to get about $120. But it was something that there was like one listed and like 5 sold in the past 90 days. I knew it was going to sell fast, so I didn't mind paying $60 if it was going to. And you sold it within a week, I think. Yeah, so I knew it was going to sell quick. So I don't mind. I mean, I'm not Warren Buffett, and I'm not as smart as Warren Buffett, but I would bet that if Warren Buffett knew he could pay $60 and get $120 back in a week, he would buy all of those things that he could.
Kohl's Over the Hedge movie, turtle plush. I like Kohl's. I pick up a lot of Kohl's, and it sold for $10.
Before you go on, I'm going to go talk real quick about the McDonald's Lego again. You talked about protecting yourself by taking pictures all around it. That protects you so that when the buyer says there's a problem. But importantly, it also tells the buyer what they're getting.
Yes.
So they know they have all these angles, so they can trust that when they buy this thing, they're getting a really good box with this, not one that's scrunched. You have a really nice front and the back is all smushed in. It helps the buyer to know what they're getting, so they're willing to pay more for that item because they don't have to worry about unexpected damage on it.
Yep. All right, another pair of jeans, Axel Walcott. Never heard of it. Sold for $17.71. This was another nice quick sell. Disney Winnie the Pooh Bear plush. Usually they are bread and butter, but this was a larger 21-inch, and it sold for $35.95. Hug Love. Y'all, I've been really marking down the bears and the rabbits. Just trying to move out that inventory. And this was one of those items I had dropped the price on, and it sold for $12.11. But you have to realize still, even though it's selling for, less than I originally listed it for, I'm still making a profit on all of this stuff. It's probably was picked up at the bins, like Robert said, to about $2 a pound. This probably weighed less than a pound.
This is our blunt segue kind of here.
Okay.
Because you mentioned, it's selling for not a lot, less than you anticipated when you first bought it. The average selling price. You said something about ASP. We had a comment about the ASP being in our last video about the ASP being too low. My first thought was active server pages, because 20 years as a computer nerd, that's what when I hear ASP, that's what I think of. Or ASP.NET, which was like the second iteration of active server pages. Did a lot of Microsoft development back in the day. But
average sale price.
Average sale price. When you're on eBay, it's average sale price. So what's a proper ASP? It depends. It depends.
Exactly. Some people, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I read a lot of Facebook posts. Some people say they're not going to sell for anything less than $25. And that's fine, because that's the thing that they like, they want to do. But for me, y'all, I've been doing this 26 years. Almost all of those years have been toys. I love my job. Absolutely love it. For 26 years, I have been doing this. I enjoy coming out here every day, dealing with my piles, and I don't mind making $8 to $12, on a lot of them. with the exceptions. I sell a lot of $35 loveys, as you've seen in this video. $250 Legos. I sell a lot of stuff for way more than $8 to $12. But I buy my stuff at the bins. Y'all, where does that stuff at the bins go when it doesn't sell at the bins? It goes to the landfill. I have a strong...
Can I put it like this? You're struggling for the word to put there. I have the word. I have a Powerball ticket I need to check. If I won $400 million in the Powerball, I mean talking 400 million net in the Powerball, I could not get this woman to stop selling some of the stuff she sells because she enjoys it. And I would not want to try to talk her out of it because she enjoys it.
I do. And I love the fact that I am saving a lot of vintage plush from going to the landfill. And in the meantime, a lot of it is bread and butter. And I'm good with that.
For the person, I can't remember who made the comment, but we're not complaining that you made the comment. Not at all. What we're getting at here is average sale price for us is going to be different than somebody else. If you are doing this part-time after work, you probably don't want to sell a lot of $8 stuff or $10 stuff.
Right.
Because that time, you've already spent 40 hours at work plus your lunch and your commute and all that. Your after work time is valuable to you. So you want to make sure you're selling higher dollar stuff.
Make it worth your time.
When I was learning about clothes, I watched a guy, I can't remember his name now. I think he stopped reselling, but he was his Goodwill that he went to was in Beverly Hills, and he would not sell anything. I can't remember his dollar value, but it had to sell fast and it had to be worth X amount of dollars because he lived in an apartment with a roommate. He had like the entryway closet and space around his bed in his bedroom to store his inventory. He doesn't have a big space. So whatever he sells,
building.
yeah, whatever he sells had better sell for good money and it better sell fast so he could cycle through it. If you have the space, you could not make as much money. Look at a Walmart store. Walmart doesn't make very much on any single item, especially grocery, but they sell a lot of them. Mm-hmm. And so that's their model. Low profit, a lot of sales. If you're constrained on space or constrained on time because you work a full-time job, then you probably need to either have things that sell faster or things that sell for more money than we sell them for, because that's got to suit your life. Rebel was talking about having fun doing this and enjoying it, so she doesn't mind making less per sale. As I mentioned when we started this little bit here about ASP, that I did 20 years in software development. We don't make a ton of money doing this. We make good money. We make good money for here. We make good money for here in East Tennessee for our family. But together doing this, we make less than I made at my last IT job. Mm-hmm. But I enjoy every day of my life.
Yep.
Okay.
And
she's not perfect, so not exactly every day. She gets on my nerve every now and then. But I love her to death. And I enjoy my job way more than when I made more money. I can't imagine going back and having to go to a meeting for an IT job or whatever job. I would pull out whatever little bits of hair I have left having to sit through a meeting, because we don't have those. We don't need to have those. We just talk about our life and our work all day long.
Yep.
And there's no clock to punch. We can come out here and we could decide that we're going to work 12 hours today and do nothing tomorrow. Yep. Or the day after. We get to set what we want when we want. So the freedom to go see my parents whenever I want, to go visit a friend whenever we want, or just to go, hey, let's go on a sourcing trip whenever we want, is much more valuable than any sort of money that we could have ever made.
Yeah. And if you go in my feedback, I think I'm at 33,000 feedback because I've done this for so long and I've sold so much. People appreciate being able to find that toy from their past, that toy that they wanted for their child.
My daughter loved this when she was young, and I bought it for my granddaughter so her daughter could have one.
Yep. So that's why I do what I do. I just love this job. I'll be doing this forever. Forever.
And ever, amen?
Yep. All right, let's keep going. Another really nice sale. This was Gund Blue Puppy. His name was Puddles. 12-inch, and he sold for $49.95. Took about 3 months. Hug Fun Otter, a brand I'm not going to probably pick up very much anymore, but it was also Walmart, and just something a little bit different. Sold for $10. All right, Fisher Price Little People. I picked this wooden train up a long time ago. I want to say I paid $2 for it. And it took a while because I had it listed for quite a bit. Took a $31 offer on that. And this person also bought the pop-up camper motorcycle, which I just picked up in a large lot of vintage Little People. So all in all, they paid, $47 plus shipping and all of that stuff. Theory of Math Counts coffee mug. I've been dropping the price on my coffee mugs also because I have so many. They got to go. This one sold for $17.95. Look, I sold another Sasha doll. I think this was number 2 technically because one lady bought 2 and then returned 1. So this one sold for $400 and then I've sold another one since. So definitely in the profit already on all of the dolls. I want to say I paid about $685 maybe for 18 dolls. So it was a lot of money, but I'm way over $1,000 already on these dolls. This one was Lily. She did have the original tube and sold for $400.
This estate sale, we probably spent more money than we've ever spent at any other estate sale. It was for the dolls, but the money we got back, the $250 for the McDonald's Lego. You had the little McDonald's trinket or something you sold for a couple
I sold
hundred.
a lot, yeah.
There was something little
The
decoration
little
ornament or something.
box, the trinket box, yeah. I've made probably several thousand already off of that sale, so. Ensign smoker, pressure cooker, pieces and parts. This was a bad situation that ended up at least being okay.
You just keep bringing this up. You'd probably list the little chunks of plastic that broke off the bottom just to rub my nose in it again.
It was a return, and I ended up just selling the parts because the item got damaged in shipment originally. I just had them return it to me. And I've sold the lid, I've sold the insert pot, and I think this is like the jiggler and the cord. So we made our money back on the initial sale and the 2 shippings. And so it's all good. All good. $22.45. Robert picked these up at a yard sale over the summer. I think you paid $10 for all of them, right? And there was one other book I think I listed separately. It was the one that was not in this series. It was just there. But this James Bond thriller book set by Signet sold for $45. Cloud Island. This was one of those sales like in 2 or 3 days. A little lovey. I've done really well with a lot of the Cloud Islands. Most of them are bread and butter, but there are some that sell for quite a bit more. $8.96. FAO Schwartz Bear. Not a brand I'm going to be picking up very much. This one took over 2 years to sell. $10.75. Fail. Applause Bravo Lion Cub plush. And the other side of this, yeah, a lot of the Applause, the Dakins, the Russ, the Guns don't sell for a whole lot or they take a while, but I love them. I love saving them. This one sold for $13.45. Mattel Popples. Popples, anytime you can find them, even a lot of times in rough condition, they still will sell. Let somebody else try to restore them. This one had a lot of discoloration and fading. Lots of wear. Still sold for $19.95. Tide Buddies. That has been my new thing this past year that I enjoy picking up, especially a lot of the cats and dogs. This one was Maddie from 2002. Even without the paper tags, still sold $13.45 in less than a month. Wayne's International. Another thing, I picked up a bunch of these. I had like 3 yellow and 3 blue. I still have 2 yellow, so they are taking a while to sell, but it did sell for $33.26. Showbiz pizza, anytime you can find those, especially the ones from the 90s, and they say Showbiz Pizza on them, they tend to do very well. This one sold, I think, the same day I listed it. It's missing its hat, and it still sold almost immediately, $17.95. I have sold others of them for $50, $60, I think even up to $100. So definitely keep your eyes out for anything marked Showbiz Pizza. Needlepoint Christmas stockings. I tend to pick a lot of these up at the bins, estate sales. Just be careful you don't pick up ones that are personalized. They take a little bit longer, if ever, to sell. I've made that mistake a couple of times. This one sold for $18. Another very quick sell. This was picked up at our last trip to the bins. So again, we average about $2 a pound. This is Bear in the Big Blue House. It's either Pip or Pop. I couldn't remember. From 1999, Bear in the Big Blue House is still very, very, very sought after. This sold, I think, within a day for $60. Six Flags. I used to do better with them. You know, anything that was Carowin, Six Flags, Busch Gardens, they just don't seem to sell as much anymore. This still sold very quickly, though, for me, $13.45. Hallmark Rodney the Reindeer plush. These were cute little magnetic kisser plushes, and they sold also very quickly, $13.45. Kids of America little monkey plush, $17.95. Fisher Price Little People vehicles. This was from that $65 lot that I picked up at the Habitat store. These 2 vehicles sold for $13.45. I'm way in the profit on them already also. VTech Go Smart Horse and Unicorn. Anytime you find these Go Smart figures, they do very, very well. This one took maybe 2 weeks to sell, $17.95. Boyd's Bears, not something I pick up very often anymore, but this one was cute. Paid, I want to say, $2 for it recently at an estate sale. Took the quick sale, got a $10 offer on it. Robert complained about this order. In our live show last week, we were trying to do all of our shipping during the live. We do a live show every Monday on our other channel, the Rebel Pickers. We've been doing it at 10 o'clock, but we had to do it at 9 o'clock because I had a doctor's appointment this week, and a lot of people who normally couldn't make it made it. So I think we're going to change it to 9 o'clock starting next Monday. But somebody bought one of the 2,000-piece Ravensburger puzzle. The boxes are larger on them, and a dinosaur, which just kind of really threw off the packaging that we had anticipated.
The puzzle boxes go in 2 of our cereal box shaped boxes. They slide in there pretty good because we don't have a box that will fit that unless we go into a Walmart medium box, which is what this ended up having to do because the dinosaur would not fit in the cereal boxes with the puzzle. So I had to get a Walmart medium box, put them in there, and then cut it down and cut the side up and the end up. It just took a lot more work to do it that way than it would have with either one of these separately.
But still a really nice sale. The 2 of them sold for $53.90. And last but not least, I loved this. Picked this up at an estate sale also. I want to say I paid $2 for it also. It is Westland is the brand. A little Sally and Linus and Snoopy figure. And it sold for $26.95. And then Robert's Store. So Robert's Store only had 2 sales. First thing was this CNC California men's corduroy pants, sold for $26.71. And this leather gallery women's blazer jacket. I want to say we picked these up at a sale for $3 each. We bought several little leather jackets. And I think we paid $3 each for them. It took me a while to get them listed. They're just a pain to take pictures of. And this one sold for $35.71. But the sales were terrible over in that store. He's going to go fix that hopefully this evening. Get that sale going again. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys are starting to see really good sales. It's, you know, I have friends down in Mississippi, and it's like when I do well, she doesn't. My friend in Florida, when I'm doing well, she's not. It's just kind of weird. But yeah, it's odd how the servers work opposites, it seems. Anybody else notice that too? Because, you know, I check with lots of my friends during the week on when I'm having a good day. I always want to go ask how their day's going, and vice versa. And it just always seems ups and downs have been awful still on eBay. I mean, right after this weekend, which was amazing, I had three really low days. So it is what it is. I always say that. Somebody sent me a gift one time, and I think it says, "It is what it is." It's a bracelet. I have it back there on my wall. But famous words for eBay. It is what it is. All right, y'all. It's time actually to go get some dinner cooked. Bye. Get to work.